That is enough said.
Happy Sunday, Heat Nation. Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Guys, please don't forget to share your support. Like, share, subscribe. Now that we got that out the way, please join me as we go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. First and foremost, you guys, I do got to apologize for not getting a video for the last couple days. A lot of different things been going on. I was a little under the weather, but more importantly, lost my voice. Ugh, that was annoying. I can't really do my thing if I ain't got no voice. So also had a wrestling show, and that kind of killed my voice too. But feeling a lot better, so I'm here to talk Miami Heat basketball. Now, in today's episode, you guys, I kind of want to go in a different direction. The reason why is because we're in the middle of the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs is very exciting right now, but the Miami Heat are not in the playoffs. So right now, the Heat are waiting for a few things. First and foremost, the draft in June. That's going to be big next month. You got the 20th pick. You're going to be able to add a quality role player in a deep 2025 draft class. Who knows? Maybe the Heat can trade up. Who knows? Then you're going to have free agency. Now, we know a little flexibility that the Miami Heat will have. They won't have salary cap space, but being that they're under the first and second apron tax line with the Jimmy Butler trade, they're going to have some flexibility. They're going to have a mid-level exception, a biannual exception. So they're going to have a little cap flexibility coming too. They need to make a decision with Duncan Robinson. He has an early termination option. Is he going to opt out before the July 8th deadline? Who knows? So the Heat need to wait and see. Now, a lot of the episodes that I've been talking about lately are potential trade rumors. Are the Heat going to go after guys like Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ja Morant, Trae Young maybe? But if history has taught us anything recently, you guys, the players that the Miami Heat have gone for, they haven't gotten. Maybe they might get lucky with a guy like Kevin Durant. And one thing that I have been saying a lot lately is if you're able to put a superstar A-level player in this roster with a team surrounded by Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, and Davion Mitchell, mainly, if you're able to take a superstar quality player and add him in that lineup, like a Kevin Durant, I think this team could contend. I think the team could contend in the 7-game series against Boston, against Cleveland, and the reason why is because that's what the Heat's been lacking. Tyler Herro is an amazing complementary number 2 player. He's a guy that can give you 20 to 24 points a game, like a solid number 2 option. You have Bam Adebayo, who is an all-star level number 3 option. Bam Adebayo is an all-NBA level player. Tyler Herro is an all-star level player. But they're not superstar level players. That's why they need a guy like Jimmy Butler. You put Kevin Durant, who is an offensive wizard, on that roster. A guy that can average about 26, 27 points a game. He's a bucket getter. He can help you maintain these leads that you get. We see this Heat team get leads, you guys. We've seen this a lot. But we don't see them keep leads because teams are able to figure them out. You have Kevin Durant, makes it a little bit easier. You're able to trade for maybe a Giannis. Come on, that's a game changer. We've talked about all this, but I want to talk about going the other way. Because let's say if the Heat don't do that. Let's say if the Heat can't trade for Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo, because there's going to be other teams out there in the open market that are going to have way more flexibility, more draft capital, more young assets. Teams like Houston, teams like Oklahoma, maybe, I don't know off the top of my head, San Antonio. There's going to be a lot of other teams that can compete with the Miami Heat. So let's say they don't make trades. Then, yeah, they can just run it back with this team. Sure. Is it annoying? Hell yeah. Because at best, this team is a 38 to 42 win team. Play-in tournament team. You're going to see the same thing next year. But one thing that we do know, you guys, is that after 2026, the Miami Heat are going to have so much loaded cap flexibility. Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson's contract expire after 2026, getting them off your books. That is $46 million off your books. Andrew Wiggins has a player option after that year for $30 million. That goes off your books if he opts out. That's huge, you guys. That right there is about $76 million off your cap space. And now you can get a superstar level player to put next to Bam and Tyler. So if you hold out for one more year with this Bam, Adebayo, and Tyler Herro experience, you could go after a guy like a Luka Doncic, who may become available. Luka just got bounced out of the first round with the Lakers. LeBron is 40. Luka's going to have to do a rebuild with the franchise. Would he want to do that? Or maybe Goran Dragic can lead him to Miami. Who knows? You have other players that are available. Kevin Durant will actually be available then. Jaren Jackson. De'Aaron Fox will be available. You know, there's guys that are going to be in restricted contracts like Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams. You won't be able to get them probably. Trae Young's going to be a free agent then. James Harden, Kyrie Irving. You're going to have a lot of different options in the 2026 offseason. Kristaps Porzingis even. There's going to be so much flexibility and also trade flexibility. Players becoming available in the open trade market, with the Miami Heat having $76 million off their cap space that year. Let's not forget Kevin Love, Haywood Highsmith is also off your books. You can move Kyle Anderson's $9 million contract, so you can get maybe $90 million in space and build another team around Bam and Tyler. All you have to do, though, is just run it back with this core for one more year. But let's say the Miami Heat want to go in another direction. A direction I mentioned in my recent episode. Utah Jazz a few years ago, you guys, they did an overhaul. They did a complete rebuild where they traded Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Now you look at Utah now. Scrappy team, not in the playoffs. But the Miami Heat are ran by a different franchise. We've done a little rebuild like this before. Back in 2008 with the 15-win season. We got it back together in about we got it back together in 1 year. We were a middle playoff team. Then we got LeBron and Bosh and made a huge score. Maybe that's something that he can do. But what if they do that by possibly moving Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro? With Tyler Herro, you have a difficult decision to make. He becomes contract extension eligible in October. If you don't extend, you can extend him now for 3 years, $150 million. Or if you wait a year, it might be 4 years, $210 million. Or 5 years, $388 million if he makes an All-NBA team. So maybe it's better to extend Tyler now, so you don't have to give him so much money. That's what the Heat did with Bam. They gave Bam all that money. Yeah, it was a 3-year, $163 million extension, but it could have been that same level with Tyler. So you got that with Bam now, so you didn't have to pay him way more, and it's good for the player because they get the security. But even Tyler said it in the press conference, if I don't get it now, it will be for more money later. So he's cool with that. He's young. He can figure that out. But if the Miami Heat make a decision with this team like, hey, we don't want to do this play-in, run-it-back mentality. We have our 2026 pick. Remember, you guys, even though Heat fans were pissed at the fact that we made the playoffs, by doing that, we lifted the protection for our draft pick next year. So let's say if the Heat think, okay, we got our draft pick. We have the 20th pick. We have Kel'el Ware. Bring back Davion Mitchell. Let's build up with Jaime and Nikola for a year. Let's see what we can get in the open market for Bam and Tyler. You could potentially get up to 6 first-round draft picks by trading both Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro. I think the Miami Heat can get 4 first-round draft picks for Bam, 2 first-round draft picks for Tyler Herro. Maybe even 3. But you do that if you strike out on a superstar player. So that's 3 different options. You get the A-level player next to Tyler and Bam. You bring back this team that got bounced in the first round by Cleveland, knowing they're not going to do anything next year, probably make a play-in. Or you say, let's capitalize on this draft pick that we have, move Tyler and Bam, get as much draft capital as we have. We have our 2026 pick. We can build with these young players. Now we can allow Isaiah Stevens, Josh Christopher, Keyshawn Johnson to get more time. Give Jaime Jaquez the green light with Nikola Jovic and Kel'el Ware and Davion Mitchell. And 2026, you're not only going to have a great first-round draft pick in the offseason, you're going to have over $100 million, maybe $120 million in cap space and a great draft pick, and you're in South Florida with no state income taxes. That's why possibly moving Bam and Tyler might be the smartest thing for the Miami Heat to do. Does it suck? Yes. I love Bam and Tyler, but I'm thinking about building for this team for the future, like a front office exec. Now look, you don't have to move both Bam and Tyler. Let's say you just move Tyler and you keep Bam. Bam is the cornerstone of this organization. Bam is another Udonis Haslem. I don't want to trade Bam. I'm just saying different scenario, Heat fans. Let's say you just move Tyler and you keep Bam. You're still going to give yourself more draft capital, maybe making a potential trade. So the Miami Heat are going to have to make a really difficult decision this offseason. But it's not like they have to make it now. They're going to have little sections where they're going to do this. You have the draft. You make your pick. Build around your team. Get the best available player with pick 20. Get a point guard. Get a backup center. Somebody that can help you now. Then in free agency or during the draft, open the trade market. The Miami Heat on draft night will have 3 potential first-round draft picks they can trade, along with young assets like Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Pelle Larson, and expiring contracts like Duncan Robinson, Terry Rozier, and Andrew Wiggins, who has a player option. The Heat can make some moves. Maybe they make a move on draft night with Phoenix for Kevin Durant. And now we can see a Kevin Durant, Tyler Herro, and Bam Adebayo team for one season because Kevin Durant's contract is expiring. I think the Heat are going to have a very interesting offseason, you guys, because you have multiple ways that you can go. Go after the whale. Bring this dog shit of a team back and see another play-in run, or maybe Bam or Tyler catch an injury and then they just have a bad season and yeah. Or get as much draft capital as you have. See what the market is for Bam and Tyler. I want to hear from you, Heat Nation. Now that you know that we've made the playoffs, we only have one draft pick this draft, but now we have the protection lifted next year. So we can have a bad year next year and get our pick. What do you guys think the Heat should do? Bring this team back, go after the whale, or move Bam and Tyler and see what you can get for draft capital. Let me know in the comments what you think, Heat Nation. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe as we push to 6,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Sorry, but I was about to try my best. I did a couple of these takes. Wasn't the easiest, but I think this is the best one. Ooh, thank you guys so much, and until next time, your boy Ernest out, and that is enough said.